What's up, everybody? So, I'm supposed to be multi-streaming today around noon, but I figured I'd sneak on. I'm awake. Been up since about 4. It is 7 o'clock my time. I'm going to stream for a little bit, and then I'm going to take a nap, and I'll come back with a multi-stream later on this afternoon. Before we get going, someone had asked if I was going to make a reaction video to the new Assassin's Creed Samurai game. No, I'm not going to make a reaction video. The reason for that is because I went and watched the trailer. Looks cool. 0 gameplay footage. I'm not going to make a reaction video to something that doesn't have any gameplay footage. That's bullshit. Like, you know, if there's no gameplay footage, nope, no thanks. Alright, let's check my quests here. What are we working on? We've done that. Man, why don't we go talk about joining the Vanguard? That'd be a fun quest to work on today. Show on map. At some point, I probably need to upgrade my ship. Yeah, there's no reason to react to anything. Exactly, Akazar. Needs to be something.
So, were you eating at the Sagebrook, or is it just a quick snap from the Terror Brew?
Nothing actually. Thank you very much. We need to go up here. Actually, you know what? While we're here, I'm gonna run around and get my latest ding for the fitness perk. How many more of these do I need to do? A few. I'm at 8 of 20. Oh my goodness. I'm probably just gonna have to just grind those out, man. I only need 4 more of these. That's gonna be good. I need 1 more ship, and I need to do 2 more in targeting mode.
Welcome to Mast. If you have an appointment, you may proceed inside.
Alright, let's talk about the Vanguard.
Hey, Sarah's friend. You come to enlist at long last? Start earning your stripes with the Vanguard?
Dude, I love his outfit. Please tell me I can get one of those. What sort of work would I be doing if I enlisted?
Vanguard work is as needed. When we've got jobs, we'll make them available to you. But the work itself, well, it runs the gamut. Sometimes you might be hunting down hostile ships on behalf of the UC Navy, or you might be called up to help the Science Division clean up some invasive species. Hell, we've even been asked to help take on the occasional terramorph. And sometimes we just need cargo support. Not every job's glamorous. The Vanguard only gets called in for the ones where there's a chance of seeing action.
Perfect.
Wherever the UC needs us, the Vanguard is there.
That sounds like the slogan. Wherever they need us, the Vanguard is there. Alright, what do I need to do?
Well, all right. Take the elevator down to the Vanguard Orientation Hall. You can get started at any of the registration terminals. The system will walk you through the rest.
Okay.
And if you've got any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Alright, take the elevator down. Oh wow, there's a whole bunch of stuff in here. Alright. Down to the orientation hall we go. Applicant name Renfail, current bounty 0. To register for an examination, please select Enlist Agreement. Note, any outstanding UC bounty must be paid before proceeding. I don't have any. Akazar says, got you on the big screen TV, in and out all day, installing new sprinklers in the backyard. Rock on, man. One of these days, I'm going to go play these games on my big screen, because ever since I switched over to just streaming all of my play sessions, or, you know, just doing everything from the desk, I just play it on the 28-inch, and I'd love to see what this game looks like on the big smart TV. Alright, enlist agreement. While joining the United Colonies Vanguard, you agree to perform necessary services for the United Colonies that can place you in serious danger. There's only harm to your craft or yourself, up to and including death. In exchange, the United Colonies Vanguard agrees to compensate all captains according to their experience level and the difficulty of the task required. All applicants will be required to earn a satisfactory grade on a simulated combat flight. Successfully complete a probationary mission. Upon the completion of both prerequisites, the United Colonies Vanguard agrees to sponsor your citizenship application and guarantees the granting of United Colonies citizenship when sufficient time or acts of valor have warranted it. Do you agree to the above commitment and wish to initiate your journey with the United Colonies Vanguard? Dun, 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 dun. I, Renfail, agree. Consent documented. You may proceed to the examination chamber through the orientation hall.
Registration accepted. You may now proceed through the historical displays in the orientation hall, or continue on to the examination.
Orientation hall. Oh. The end of Earth. Oh, this is cool. I never did this on my original playthrough. Is it going to be an audio thing?
In 2150, humanity learned the Earth's magnetosphere would collapse sometime in the next half-century, eliminating all life on the planet. Decisive action was required, but the secure transport of an entire civilization would demand a new kind of cooperation, a new kind of courage, and a new kind of union. Thus, in 2159, the United Colonies were formed to make that journey possible. Just 1 year later,
I love the ship takeoffs and landings.
the first of many colony ships, touched down here on Jemison, beginning a new era of human history, the age of the United Colonies.
Okay. And
The
for
effort and planning it must have taken to evacuate literally the entire planet. Can you imagine? The logistics alone must have been mind-boggling.
and I remember from doing the NASA quests, my first playthrough, I know what caused the electromagnetic. I know what caused the Earth to blow up. So I guess it walked us through the whole thing, and I wasn't paying attention. I was only staring at the one. So if I push it again, it probably would go through. Because this is like the new Atlantis founding. Factions rise. Probably start here, I'm assuming.
From their foundation, the United Colonies strove to provide all their citizens with opportunity, security, and peace. But there were those among the UC that still wanted something more. Independence. So in 2161, the UC issued the Centaurus Proclamation, granting UC citizens the right to settle distant worlds.
What caused it, Hemp says?
Form their own sovereign powers.
I'd hate to spoil it.
For the first new faction, the Free Star Collective,
Let's just say
was formally organized
scientists
in
doing
2188,
scientific-y
later followed
things.
by House Varun, revealing themselves to the universe in 2230.
The result of the Centaurus proclamation has always left me torn. So much conflict arose as a result. Was it worth it?
Let's just say sometimes scientists do things that have bad things that can happen. What does this do? I don't know. Let's throw this into the mix and... Oh no, wormholes! Ah!
It was only in 2230 that the faction known as House Varun first made contact with the rest of the settled systems. Founded by the passengers of a colony ship that had left New Atlantis and disappeared 4 decades earlier, House Varun was affection unlike any other.
Okay.
A theocracy dedicated wholly to the beliefs of its isolationist founder, Janan Varun. House Varun initially made overtures of peace towards the rest of the settled systems. They claimed their only intention was to spread the word of their
Hold
god,
that thought, Hemp Mind, because I'm
the
pretty
Great
sure.
Serpent.
I'm pretty
But
sure.
none
Let me go to
could have
YouTube.
guessed that this worship
Pretty sure I
might
recorded
take
an
the form
episode
of a bloody
around that,
war,
so I can actually drop the
the
link in here,
Serpent's
and
Crusade.
you can go watch it without me spoiling it for anybody on the stream. Hang on. I'm like 90% sure I recorded a video around this from my first playthrough. Ah, yep, found it. What really happened to Earth. So this video is from October 31st last year. My first playthrough. So I just dropped the link in Twitch chat there for you. I don't remember the exact details, but I know it's sciencey stuff. Also, for anybody who wants, I'm going to go drop another link in here. For those who haven't watched my reaction trailer this morning, Dune Prophecy dropped its teaser trailer yesterday, and it looks absolutely phenomenal. And I just did a reaction video around it this morning. I dropped the link in chat for anybody who wants to go watch it at your leisure. I need to eat and drink because I'm malnourished.
The Freestar Collective was initially founded in 2188, when the citizens of Aquila banded together with the pleasure city of Neon in mutual defense. But in 2194, after the deployment of a UC medical star station in orbit around their world, the citizens of Narion also requested to join the collective. The resulting rise in tensions between the Freestar Collective and UC culminated in the settled system's first intergalactic conflict, the Narion War. Despite a decisive victory by the UC, the colonies permitted the citizens of Narion to join the collective, forming the basis for the fiercely independent union that persists to this day.
Well, at least that's the United Colonies version of things. Beginning in 2196, humanity's first large-scale conflict among the stars is remembered as a defining moment for the settled systems. As the first major conflict to make extensive use of grav-jump-enabled ships, the Narion War was less defined by key space battles and more by an extended cat-and-mouse interplay between the two powers, as the well-armed and professional UC Navy tried again and again to pin down the piecemeal but savvy Freestar fleet. Unable to strike the killing blow, the UC resorted to ever more severe tactics to try and drive the collective to capitulate, but without success. In fact, after many long years of war with little to show for it, even the populace of the UC itself began to turn against the cause, with protests roiling even New Atlantis, the citizenry demanding the war finally come to a humane close. So when at long last the final blow was struck, with the UC Navy finally cornering and obliterating the Freestar fleet in 2216, it was a hollow victory. It was from the resulting negotiations, the Treaty of Narion, that the settled systems as we know them today emerged, both literally and figuratively. Despite winning the war, the UC found themselves in an unenviable position, painted as a brutal aggressor even in their home systems. So in the spirit of unity and lasting peace, the UC agreed to the demands of the Freestar Collective and the Narion settlers whose collusion triggered the conflict in the first place, and handed over Narion to the Collective as they had requested at the start of hostilities, including the clinical medical station, creating the Freestar Collective as known to this day. In return, The UC demanded 2 concessions. Holy crap, this is a bunch of stuff. The first was permanent. The first was payment, for damages done in the form of mineral rights of multiple worlds, and the second, more significant demand was that no great faction may ever colonize more than 3 systems. The UC would have Alpha Centauri, Sol, and Wolf, and the Freestar Collective had Cheyenne, Voli, and Narion. The Freestar Collective agreed to these terms, creating and codifying into law the settled systems as we know them today. The Treaty of Narion has since become the foundation of all contemporary political relations, and its only official violation, the cause of the galaxy's greatest conflict, the Colony War. To learn more about the Colony War, please proceed to the Conflict Among the Stars mural.
Beginning in 2240, House Varun forces declared all-out war on the rest of human civilization, initiating the Serpent's Crusade. Over the next 23 years, thousands of Freestar, UC, and independent souls were killed by agents of House Varun in the name of their serpent god. It was only with the death of their founder in 2263 and the succession of his heir, Jarek, that House Varun finally sued for peace. There remained, however, select members of House Varun who refused to recognize the cessation of hostilities their leaders established. Even after House Varun's mysterious disappearance, these zealots remain a threat to all who encounter them. Their pacification, a goal of all space.
Right. Oh. Look at the back! Look at the back! Alright, conflict among the stars.
Of the many conflicts between the galaxy's factions, none was more brutal than the recent colony war between the UC and the Freestar Collective. Set off by the unauthorized Freestar colonization of Vesta's Pride in 2308, a direct violation of the Narion Treaty, the colony war spread quickly across the galaxy. Both sides deployed every tool at their disposal. Armadas of warships, mechanized combat platforms, or mechs, even bioengineered alien creatures, the infamous UC xeno-weapons. It was only in 2311 at the Battle of Cheyenne that the scales finally tipped. The Freestar Collective, utilizing their civilian fleet as a human shield, successfully
Space peasants, they all deserve to die.
Colony's navy. After their shocking victory against the galaxy's greatest navy, the Freestar Collective offered terms of peace, which the colonies, out of an interest in staving off any further human costs, accepted. The galaxy has been rebuilding ever since.
The Colony War was a horrible conflict that irreparably wounded the settled systems. There were times I felt that it would never end.
I know, it's crazy stuff, right, Hemp? Like, that's the thing I think a lot of people miss about Starfield, is that if you, like, you can totally miss that, certain storylines and things unless you, like, pay attention and actually go read through things and actually read all the dialogue. Like, yesterday, I think it was yesterday, because yesterday was when I started my new playthrough. Like, the very first base you go to, as part of, like, the tutorial mission, if you take the time to go to the computers and read through the logs in the computers, it's a lot like in Fallout, where you're getting information from kiosks and computers and books and things of that nature. And you'll find out a ton of information, like there's a whole bunch of stuff in there about xenomorphs in the logs, but you have to take the time to read them, otherwise you have no frame of reference for what they mean by this xenomorph stuff. And the NASA storyline, the coolest part about that storyline is it's actually part of the that's part of the main story, right? The main constellation quest. But there are parts of that you would completely miss if you didn't take the time to read through everything on the computers. But yeah, I found that story fascinating when it came out, when I came across it, I should say.
Few settled worlds were left untouched by the colony war. But nowhere could the viciousness of modern warfare be seen more clearly than on the Freestar planet of Nira. Initially occupied by invading United Colonies forces as a forward operating position, repeated attempts to take and retake the planet by collective forces led only to devastation. Swaths of the world were transformed into scorched husks, a nightmarish testament to the depths of human ingenuity and human cruelty. And today, Nira remains a continuing reminder to the horrors of unfettered war.
Look at that mech, baby. Look at that beautiful, beautiful machine. I want to fly around in a mech. Titanfall 2, man. What a great game. Look at that. That right there, ladies and gentlemen.
This thing's like an artist's rendition, right? No animal can be this ugly in real life.
Oh no, that's a real thing.
All 4 of my last science papers have been on terramorphs.
Yeah, yeah. By the way, that is a very real creature that we're gonna come up against at some point. Very, very real. That's later.
In the midst of the colony war, a different kind of tragedy struck the UC city of Londinian.
Excuse me.
A newly constructed but critical supply center for the United Colonies war effort, Londinian found itself overrun by one of the galaxy's most mysterious predators, the Terramorph.
Oh, did I call it the Xenomorph? I meant Terramorph.
To all human settled worlds, Terramorphs swept over the city, seemingly out of nowhere, on a scale never before seen in recorded history. Valiant efforts by the UC military slowed the onslaught, but the creatures proved unstoppable.
Would you like to know more?
Ultimately, the decision was made to destroy the Londinian spaceport, sealing off the city, the outbreak, and its citizenry from the galaxy at large. The tragedy of Londinian is mourned by the UC to this day.
Goddamn bugs!
I bring her here almost every day to stare at this thing.
Dad wanted me to apply for the administration track at school, but I'm going to be a xenobiologist. It's science division or nothing.
Science division or nothing, brah. Dude, this is massive. I had no idea that there was this much to listen to. This is like, we went to, I think it was, where did we go? Chris and I were speaking at a conference in Huntsville, Alabama. I think it was 2018, like summer of 2018. We went to Huntsville to do the conference. We were there, and we were there with the tourism board, working with them, and they took us to the NASA facilities in Huntsville, Alabama, because they have a major NASA facility there, and you could go through, and they've got like all these spacesuits and things. Like actually, Richard Garriott's spacesuit is in that location from when he went to when he spent those $30 million or whatever and went to space, and his dad's spacesuit is there as well. It was fascinating because this reminds me a lot of going through the NASA. I've only ever been to the one NASA facility, and that's the one in Huntsville, and this reminds me a lot of that, the way they've got everything laid out.
After the devastation wrought by the colony war, the UC and the Freestock Collective came together to ratify a treaty that became known as the Armistice. Both sides agreed to a vast reduction in standing forces.
Speaking of cutting something out, I should cut this whole section out as like,
would be outlawed.
this will be its own separate video.
All related research was sealed away, accessible only in cases of dire emergency. But the collective had another demand.
Like the history of the United
that
Colonies.
The active commanders of the UC military stand trial for their actions. The United Colonies, in the interest of peace and galactic security, agreed. In 2311, 3 United Colonies senior officers were found guilty. Commander Henry Durant, General Indira Rastogi, and Fleet Admiral Francois Sanon, known better as Ve Victus.
And
All were sentenced to death
Victoria!
for their actions, bringing the colony war to a close and returning
Sorry, I'm just
peace
thinking about
to the
watching
galaxy
Fallout
at
last
long
night with Chris.
last.
I was a strong supporter of the Armistice. all of the terrible weapons that both sides used against one another. It had to end.
Excuse me. Okay, so this is like, what do we got here? By order. God, can I zoom in on that? Because that's way too tiny. No, don't jump up on top of there. By order of the Armistice, Article 13.13-61A, there shall be established a central archive guarded by 3 parties: the Freestar Collective House of Arun and the United Colonies, for the collective protection of all knowledge, research, and documentation depicting, describing, or in any way related to technologies and mechanisms banned by this Armistice, and shall be governed by the following laws. Access to all information in this archive will be mutually managed by all 3 parties. Access is only permitted by unanimous agreement of authorized factional representatives. The facility will be under the direct control of no sovereign faction, no single party permitted to overrule the others. All decisions regarding matters pertaining to the archives must be unanimous. Any attempts of unauthorized access will be considered an act of aggression against all parties. Each party commits to defend the others against any such attempts. And there's a bunch of Armistice language down there on the bottom.
Another day, another shift.
Oh wow. Look at those ships, man. Alright, the Vanguard is born.
It was into this new world that the Vanguard was born. An official branch of the UC Navy, the Vanguard is the United Colonies Volunteer Fleet, serving a myriad of security,
A volunteer
logistical,
fleet.
and reconnaissance roles. And after a sufficient length of service, UC citizenship is guaranteed to every Vanguard member. Open to all captains, regardless of origin, the Vanguard is leading the charge to protect and support the citizens of the United Colonies, wherever in the galaxy they may be.
Very cool. So that's their like recruitment thing. Dude, that helmet is ridiculous. That vessel's pretty cool though. Like an older variation of the Frontier I'm flying. Different types of helmets here. Okay.
No one is born a United Colonies citizen. Only through service to the UC can one hope to earn one's citizenship. But the UC prides itself on taking care of its people. Cost of living controls means citizens pay less than their foreign counterparts for needs big and small. All citizens are issued a grant upon joining to get themselves on their feet. And only UC citizens have the opportunity to purchase property, getting the chance to live in one of the most beautiful cities in the settled systems.
Does that mean I can buy an apartment on
By
New
joining
Atlantis?
the Vanguard today, you too can begin earning your place here, in the heart of galactic civilization, as a citizen of the United Colonies.
So I think that is in essence, yeah, because the elevator's about to take us down. So this is just in essence, this is a kind of like a museum display covering everything related
You know it was some UC
to the history of humanity, essentially in space. That's pretty impressive, like, because we started with the kiosk. This is the recruit registration, Vanguard orientation hall. Really cool stuff, man. Alright, well, let's go on to the ship portion next. Gotta complete our training, man.
One of my slaves said terrible.
Alright, let's run around in circles. I need to burn up my CO2. Alright, time to go to the flight sim. Oh, look at all these ships, baby. Man, military ships are always groovy. I like this one right here. That's a pretty cool looking thing. That's not bad. Does it not tell you what they are? Uh-uh. Oh, I still don't have any ammo for that. Hold up. Ooh, I need to go sell. Holy crap, I got a whole bunch of stuff I don't need. Shotgun. Only got 6 rounds. Alright. Alright, we're good.
Welcome, applicant, to the piloting simulation chamber. Please enter the designated simulation pod to initiate.
I've spent a fair bit of time in simulators just like these. They're startlingly realistic. Have fun.